Hello guys, Alex here from House German Shepherds. So you heard about these DDR Czech dogs, tough dogs, powerful dogs, dogs which were bred when men were men and women were women, and these were tough, killer dogs out to protect the border of the Czech Republic. Strong, fearless, incorrigible. These are the dogs you need to get. And for a price for this special dog, we have such dogs. You too can be a connoisseur of the real German Shepherd, the dog that does not bite a sleeve, the dog that attacks the man and works in civil drive and is completely gonna blow you away with his protective abilities and his sheer aggression toward the opponent. You too can participate in this legendary dogs for the price we ask of. You too can be part of the elite group of people who buy these powerful, true primal German Shepherds. So, okay, guys, enough of the play acting. What I'm trying to explain to you is that the DDR marketing and the Czech marketing of Czech German Shepherds and DDR German Shepherds is a bunch of horseshit. Okay? You heard it here. It's a bunch of horseshit. The fall of the Soviet Union happened in 1991, and the Berlin Wall fell in 1989. For those of you old enough to remember President Reagan, he says, Mr. Gorbachev, take down this wall. Of course, the wall was the Berlin Wall, and it was put up in 1961, although Germany as a country fell in 1945 at the end of World War II and was divided into East Germany and West Germany. You had the FRG, the Federal Republic of Germany, and the DDR, the Deutsche Democratic Republic. East Germany was poorer, smaller, and very dependent on the former Soviet Union for economic support, and had a police-like state with the Stasi police, the East German police. The Czech Republic was also behind the Iron Curtain, and they also created dogs to be used by the military. The Pograničная Straße, the border patrol, was under the auspices of a head breeder, Mr. Jiří Novotny, Jrinovotny, since 1981, and the kennel started around 1956. Since Czechoslovakia is near Austria and near Germany, the three breeding stations in the Czech Republic were located in a town called Damyslíši, Libovživisi, and Prakoviši in 1956 to establish dogs for constant supply of dogs to the military. This is no different than we have dogs in Langley, which are now custom bred, now mostly Malinois, not German Shepherds, but still some German Shepherds are used to supply dogs to the military. These dogs were bred to be free of hip dysplasia, they were physically strong, able to survive in cold conditions, and they were demonstrably different type of dogs back then. Now, the partnership between Mr. Jiří Novotny and Mr. Novotny's father and Blatyshenko Zamku, owned by Zdeněk Kubek, formed the basis, spelled Zdeněkkoubek. That was the partnership that formed the basis of the Border Patrol dog of Czechoslovakia. Now remember, it was Czechoslovakia. It wasn't Czech Republic and Slovakia. Czech Republic and Slovakia were still one country at that time. So the Soviet bloc, which was the Warsaw Pact, included Hungary, Romania, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, and many other countries in the Iron Curtain. Because of the separation of East Germany and West Germany, the SV, the Very Schutzhund, split into two breeding stud books. And so what is a breed? It has a stud book with no other breeds can join that breeding. You had different lines, line 12A, line 5A, each of them presenting different qualities in the dog, that if you understood which line, you understood the specific bloodline within the breed and what that bloodline represented. I recently got a copy of the book by Captain Max von Stefanitz. It's called The German Shepherd in Word and Picture. Do you see this copy? This was written in 1925 by the founder of the breed, Captain Max von Stefanitz himself. I don't have a first edition, that would be extremely expensive, but this is, again, The German Shepherd in Word and Picture by Captain Max von Stefanitz. Another very good book on the German Shepherd is The German Shepherd by Ernest Hart. And this is a confirmation judge. He talks about American show lines and German working lines. And he goes into a great deal of detail on the difference in conformation, structure, temperament, and what it takes to win a VA score and a V score in the show ring and the working circle, having a Schutzhund 3 title as well as the proper conformation, and what makes for a good structured German Shepherd versus a poorly structured German Shepherd. If you're a fan of this breed, buy these books, because nothing I can explain to you in this video will compare to reading the books from the people who've been around the breed since the very beginning, including the founder of the breed. So, is there a difference between the three working types, the West German working type, the East German working type, and the Czech working type? Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that the DDR type essentially no longer exists. How can you have an East German dog from a country which no longer exists? There is no longer East Germany. So how can you have East Germany German Shepherds if there is no more East Germany? Right? You can't have something from a country which no longer exists. Now, a lot of the East German dogs went on to the Czech Republic after the fall of the Berlin Wall, and they formed the basis of what became the Czech lines. The Czech lines are the basis based on East German lines, but there's a lot of West German working line mixed in them with them. They're smaller, they're more athletic, they're higher drive, they're more balanced. The East German dogs were very heavy defense drive, not much prey drive. And that means they had to be provoked by being threatened, and they would go into full bore aggression. They also were very suspicious dogs, and their ratio of prey to defense was more defense than prey. By contrast, the West German dogs evolved into prey monsters because a prey-driven dog is easier to train for the bite sleeve than a pure defense-based dog. Now, are West German dogs jute junkies? They only go for the equipment and not the man. They're not real dogs. They're not going to take on an opponent if somebody threatens them. You put it on an aggressive display and you threaten the owner, or you start acting the fool. You tell me if a bite-trained dog will not take care of you. And I'm sure you will get very powerful protection from a dog trained in Schutzhund 3. In reality, no criminal ever encounters a Schutzhund 3 trained dog, so you can see if he's a personal protection dog or not. It really doesn't happen. So, but if it was to happen, bite-trained dogs for the sport of Schutzhund are no joke. And anybody who tells you otherwise, and somehow these dogs are not real and not powerful, they haven't been around these dogs, they don't understand these dogs. Now, a lot of you will see a dog in a harness pulling on the harness, looking to bite the opponent, and they look very mad and very powerful, and that's impressive. Look, guys, that can be done to a West German working line as well. You put on a harness on a working line dog, and they're being pulled back for the opposition reflex to attack forward when you're being held backward. That dog will also display the same characteristics. The bottom line is that at one time there were temperament differences between East and West dogs, between the ratio of prey and defense and so forth. At this point of time, The country of origin really doesn't matter. They're all bred for the success in the sport of IGP. So if somebody tells you, well, my dogs are worth more, they're real dogs, uh, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. The country of origin is not the goal of a good dog. So if I told you of a German Shepherd from Holland, don't not be confused with a Dutch Shepherd, but a German Shepherd from the Netherlands, or is not to be confused with a Dutch Shepherd. In other words, understand what I'm saying. The country the dog lives in is the Netherlands. You will see NHTSB in the documents. If you see SZ in the paperwork, that's a German-born dog. If you see CMKU, that's a Czech-born dog. The bottom line is that there are certain lines in certain dogs which have different temperament characteristics and different structure. But for the most part, purity of the country of origin is really not how you buy dogs. You buy dogs based on the animal you see in front of you and what it displays. So don't go for the hype. Don't go for the crap. Don't go for the bull. Czech dogs are just another working line which happen to be in the Czech Republic. If you have a dog born in the Czech Republic, but his parents are born in Germany or Austria, is he really a Czech dog if his parents are not? You see what my point? Or if I import a dog from Germany and I have that dog in the US, is that really an American dog? No, it's a dog of German descent which happens to live in America at that point of time. Again, don't be fooled by nonsense. There is no special DDR powerful, intimidating dogs. They're real and everybody else is not real. Now, if you're not prepared to handle a powerful working dog, they'll walk all over you. So these are not the pet lines like the show lines. They're working animals with a lot of working drive, and you have to be able to handle it. Otherwise, they're the easiest dogs in the train in the world. They're the sweetest. They're the smartest. They're very biddable. But don't be the fool and buy what you can't handle. If you can only handle a 4-cylinder engine, don't go buy a 12-cylinder Ferrari. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't have the personality to handle a powerful breed with a lot of working ability, don't buy it. They'll walk all over you. All right. Say goodbye to the hype and buy the real thing based on the characteristics you actually see. The country of origin no longer matters. It's a thing of the past. And that's all I can tell you. Have a nice day.